Bryce Young, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Bryce Young. Dave Canellis, am I saying his name right? Said he's seen a shift in Bryce Young after being benched mid-season last year. And he is projecting him to have a breakthrough 2025 NFL season. So, guys, buy or sell, Bryce Young will have a great third NFL season. When you look at the past 2 seasons, guys, for Bryce Young, he has had a rough time in the NFL thus far. His first coach was Frank Wright, the mighty, mighty Frank Wright. He was fired midway through the first season. Chris Tabor took over for six games. They did one game out of 5. He was not hired in the offseason. I don't think he was even interviewed. Insert Dave Canellis, his second year, which is now his head coach going into the third year. So, guys, Bryce Young has had 3 coaches in 2 seasons. In his first 2 seasons, he's thrown the ball 911 times and sacked 91 times. Since his midseason benching, he did do a lot better. His best game to date was the last game of the season, Week 18 versus the Atlanta Falcons, having 251 yards passing, went 25-34 for 3 touchdowns. So, guys, when we look at Bryce Young and the potential of 2025 NFL season, buy or sell, will Bryce Young have a great third NFL season? So when we hear great, we have to put emphasis on some numbers, right? When I think of a great NFL season, I'm thinking of 3,500 plus yards, right? I'm looking at a winning record for the Carolina Panthers. I'm looking at a potentially battling for the division. I feel that if your quarterback has a great season, you should be doing those things. And I don't see the Carolina Panthers battling for the NFC South next season. I don't see the Carolina Panthers really competing for a playoff spot. I don't see Bryce Young throwing for 4,000 yards next season. A lot of it is because their roster just isn't very good. Adam Thielen had a hell of a season last season. They don't even know if he's going to be back. He said he still has some left in the tank. He would love to come back, but Dave's like, we'll think about it. Guys, when we look at bad organizations, when you hear bad organizations, this is what you think of. You think of Chicago Bears, think of the New York Jets, you think of the Las Vegas Raiders. You think of bad organizations. Guys, the Carolina Panthers are creeping up there pretty quickly. Now, I understand. He got benched. He was playing bad. Many people are saying, hey, you should request a trade. You should do this, this, and this. And Bryce Young just did his thing. He sat on the bench. He got better. Don't even remember. Was it Andy Dalton was the backup quarterback? Kind of did his thing. Went out there and beat the Raiders. Like I told you what would happen. Beginning of the 9-game losing streak. But Andy Dalton got in a car accident, injured his wrist. Insert Bryce Young again. He did play well. I believe he only had 2 games under 200 yards after being benched, which was a 185-yard game versus the Seals, I think it was, or something. It was a very, very low game. Guys, I am selling Bryce Young's future in Carolina. I'm selling Bryce Young having a successful 2025 season. I'm selling Bryce Young having a long NFL career. Guys, I don't want to talk down about Bryce Young, but it's easy to. The man's 5'5". The man struggles to hang onto the ball. The man struggles to find the open guy. The man struggles to really push the ball down the field. I don't think Great and Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers are ever going to mesh at all. Now, maybe if Bryce Young goes to a team that is willing to actually put in the effort to make him a good quarterback, willing the effort to really put in a game plan, a offensive of like scheme to like cater him, roll the pocket, much like the Arizona Cardinals are doing right now with like Kyler. I gotta sell it. I just do not see them being successful with Bryce Young ever think. Alpha Rob says, it's funny, everyone going to pay attention to the refs. Yeah, they are. James says, buy on Bryce. James says, I like Bryce Young. I like what he's doing. Sending him over to Cleveland. Listen, James. If the Cleveland Browns could make a trade for Bryce Young, they should. Every quarterback goes to Cleveland to die. Alpha Rob says Young should be the third year is going to tell if he's it or not. Listen, Alpha Rob, we were questioning whether he should even have a chance to be a starter last season, right? I mean, am I saying his last name right? But Coach Dave, the Panthers head coach, said, yeah, he has earned a right to compete for the starting position. That tells me you have no faith in your man at all. None. Lore says, cha-ching, I want to buy that. Lore says, send Bryce Young to the Vikings. We can make him work. Yeah, you could. You could. Derek says, I like to buy that for $1. So you're not very confident, Derek. Not very confident, are you, big guy? James says, I'm thinking he'll have this best year he's had in the league, and he'll surprise a lot of people. Honestly, though, James, that's not saying a whole lot. That's really not saying a whole lot, right? He had a 3,200 yard season, then a 2,900 yard season. The best year of his career would be 3,300 yards. Hell, even a Chicago Bears quarterback can throw for like that. And James says, no, I don't want him in Cleveland. Don't put that on him.